After hearing a few of the other participants' experiences and hearing from Rick what it was, um, I had to find out for myself. And I um, had just scientifically been able to reproduce the mystical state through the use of psychedelics. That I really, it was sort of, uh, people have all sorts of hobbies, and I guess I was thinking, I don't have a hobby. But then I was reflecting on it a little bit deeper and realized I did have a hobby. And that was, sort of using entheogens to peer deeper into what is this thing we call the soul. And I've really tried to, well, actually, the DMT really, uh, I guess and we'll probably get into this a little bit more, is like, well, what happened after I got to experience the DMT? And, where has it taken me? And stuff like that. And I would say that it's been, its effect has been extremely sobering. In other words, we're in a society that uses a lot of alcohol and drugs like pot and stuff like that. And I was experiencing through the DMT reality that those will tend to get in the way of your spiritual growth because they're sort of very comforting. They're not really, DMT is extremely challenging and it's not for everyone. And like the Hasidim always say, the Kabbalah is for old men. And the reason why they say this, they have a parable about the four who entered paradise. The first goes in and he perceives the divine and instantly dies. The second man goes in, perceives the holy name, and goes crazy. The third goes in and perceives it, and because it is so different from what he had expected the divine to be, becomes a heretic. But only the one who enters in peace will leave in peace. And so I believe that this is not some recreational thing. And I don't believe anybody should enter this lightly. It is life transformative. If you're willing to live with the cognitive dissonance of the fact that there are many realities interpenetrating at all time and that you can move between them, fine, it's for you. But it will definitely undo your zone of comfort and your feelings that you really understand what's going on. It will perhaps shake you enough to realize, that you need to be awake to the fact that you don't know, and that is the beginning of starting to know. That very humbling admission. So one particular trip, I got into this space, and there were some archangels or whatever sitting there. And the first thing was they're kind of like joking with each other, and they go, "Hey, look who's finally just woken up and notices us." And that's truly humbling because you realize that we are like total beginners. And to me, it's really been instructive. After the DMT experiments, I got heavily involved into Torah study and really getting deep into reading what people had already written about mysticism to try and understand these experiences that I'd had. And the sobering effect was that I was really able to look at my life and to see how, although it's comfortable to use marijuana and drink beer and whatever, it really wasn't taking me anywhere. And so much, I think there's a lot been written, and there's a lot that will be written about the use of psychedelics to decondition people who are basically, what it is you gather up all these ill-conceived notions about the way reality is, and then you stumble through your life with this really bad set of assumptions. And these medicines can disabuse you of those notions. And what are you then willing to do with that new information? For some, it will just be, I'll put it in this box and go on back to my high-powered whatever existence. But, since I was 15, I had a desire to reach enlightenment, be enlightened, all these things I was reading about. And if you told me, oh, well, maybe by the time you're 40 or 50, you might really be able to have a little glimpse of reality, I never would have embarked on that path. But it's really proven to me that what I started out to do was worthwhile. And I've been sort of an independent software developer for about 20 years. I have a little indie operation, stone.com. And the muses work through me. And when I get inspired, my family hates it because I just go into the zone. And there is nothing more satisfying and really more DMT-like than being inspired and doing something you truly love. And so this last project I've been working on for a couple years is called Videator.
Pause for just 1 second.
Okay, should I talk about this or not? Yes, I'm wrinkling them.
No, you can just put them right over there.
Making sound.
Just make a little bit of sound, that's all. So go ahead, Videator.
And so the idea behind Videator is it takes real-time video and applies all these randomized but very psychedelic sort of effects to video. And so it lets anybody with a Macintosh basically turn their Mac into a total DMT experience where they are the subject of what's being transformed. And that is, it's sort of like in '94, my friend Spiro and Terrence and I were like, this thing is so amazing, but how can we share this? How can we bring sort of DMT to people who wouldn't normally have an opportunity to experience, or probably may not even be mentally fit to try this stuff out? Or, how can we do that? And so that began a long process of thinking about how to communicate these enhanced states in a way. And finally, the hardware is caught up with us where we can actually in real time create these sort of visual and auditory effects with software. And so that's really been neat for me. It's sort of like a convergence of what I've been doing in my professional world with what I've been doing in my spiritual development. And that's really, I owe it to the depth of research that I entered after the few high-dose DMT sessions I had with Rick.